I'm Jim Lawrence. I'm running for Congress because Washington is broken. The people of the 2nd District of the great state of New Hampshire elected Representative Ann Custer for one thing. They sent her down to Washington to provide solutions and fulfill her campaign promises. And instead, Representative Custer went down to Washington and did something completely different. She got in bed with the Washington party bosses and stopped voting for the voters of this great state. And I, for one, thought it was time that we sent someone down to Washington who would support us. I served 3 terms in the New Hampshire State House as a state rep. I'm also an Air Force veteran, proud graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, small businessman, but most importantly, family man, and proud parent of 8 wonderful children. I couldn't look my children in the eye, knowing that I stood by and did nothing while Washington, D.C. spent their future prosperity away. The national debt now sits at $19.2 trillion. That's $60,000 for each and every American. That's a burden that's way too high for us to leave to future generations of Americans. And unfortunately, our federal government doesn't just stop there. It's continuing to overregulate and overtax our small businesses, which we know are the economic engine of this great nation. Can I see a show of hands of anyone who feels that we're safer than we were 8 years ago? Anyone feel safer now?
Nope.
I know I don't.
I have a gun.
There you go. That's a smart answer.
More guns.
But we're dealing with the worst foreign policy in decades. Our allies don't feel like they can depend on us, and our enemies certainly don't fear us. We see that all over the world. We see evidence of this everywhere, with terrorist attacks against our allies, and unfortunately right here in our own homeland. As a veteran, I'm incensed that the current administration continues to lead this country down the wrong path of destruction, and Representative Ann Custer is right there backing President Barack Obama all the way, voting with him 95% of the time. It's time for this to stop. You know, our Representative Ann Custer finally took a picture, as far as I'm concerned, that shows what she's been doing for the past 2 terms. Anyone think she's been sitting down on the job? That's right. Did you see the pictures of her at her sit-in down in the Capitol?
Yeah.
While she was arguing that our best foreign policy to fight terrorism abroad in ISIS was gun control and taking away American Second Amendment rights? Well, you know, that's my favorite picture of Representative Ann Custer. Because as far as I'm concerned, she's finally got a picture of what she's been doing for 2 terms. She's been sitting down on the job. Isn't it time we had someone that was going to stand up for us?
Yep.
You know, I can go on and on about the issues, the problems that are being created by our big, bloated, overgrown, bureaucratic federal government that has got in the way of the American people for far too long. See, even that tray understands what I'm talking about.
It's trying to get away.
The list is long, and I can tell you that Representative Ann Custer has not been there for us. She's been ineffective. Has anyone seen her lately?
No.
Anyone seen her in the media? Seen her at an event?
On a milk carton.
She's hiding. I would tell her truth.
Missing in action.
Very good.
She's nowhere to be found. The last time I saw her at a town hall meeting, she was getting hauled off the stage by her staffers because she couldn't figure out where Benghazi was.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That's kind of funny looking at all the stuff that's gone on in the world since then. It's really not funny, but that's our representative down in Washington. I know I'm in the way of some wonderful food and wine that's been provided for you guys here. So I don't want to go on too long, but I'll leave you with this thought. I ask today for you to stand with me so that I could stand up for you in Washington. I ask today for your support. and I ask for your vote so that we can return leadership down to Washington from the 2nd District here in New Hampshire and send Representative Custer back where she belongs, back home packing. Thank you for being here tonight.